Question: if the essence of suchness is, from the beginningless beginning, endowed with the perfect state of purity, then all sentient beings are endowed with suchness and are equally permeated by it. If this is so, why is it that there are infinite varieties of believers and non-believers, and that there are some who believe sooner and some later? All of them should, knowing that they are endowed with the principle of suchness, at once make an effort utilizing expedient means, and should all equally attain nirvana. Answer: though suchness is originally one, yet there are immeasurable and infinite shades of ignorance. From the very beginning, ignorance is, because of its nature, characterized by diversity, and its degree of intensity is not uniform. Defilements, more numerous than the sands of the Ganges River, come into being because of the differences in intensity of ignorance, and exist in manifold ways. Defilements, such as the belief in the existence of Atman and the indulgence in passion, develop because of ignorance and exist in different ways. All these defilements are brought about by ignorance, in an infinitely diversified manner in time. The Tathagatas alone know about this. In Buddhism, there is a teaching concerning the primary cause and the coordinating causes. When the primary cause and the coordinating causes are sufficiently provided, there will be the perfection of a result. It is like the case of wood. Though it possesses latent fire nature, which is the primary cause of its burning, it cannot be made to burn by itself unless people understand the situation and resort to means of actualizing fire out of wood by kindling it. In the same way, a human being, though he is in possession of the correct primary cause, namely suchness with permeating force, he cannot put an end to his defilements by himself alone and enter into nirvana unless he is provided with coordinating causes, that is, his encounters with the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, or other good spiritual friends. Even though coordinating causes from without may be sufficiently provided, if the pure principle, that is, suchness, within is lacking in the force of permeation, then a person cannot ultimately loathe the suffering of samsara and seek bliss in nirvana. However, if both the primary and the coordinating causes are sufficiently provided, then, because of his possession of the force of permeation of suchness from within, and the compassionate protection of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas from without, he is able to develop a loathing of suffering, to believe that nirvana is real, and to cultivate his capacity for goodness. And when his cultivation of the capacity for goodness matures, he will as a result meet the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and will be instructed, taught, benefit, and given joy, and then he will be able to advance on the path to nirvana. Permeation through influences is the force from without affecting human beings by providing coordinating causes. Such external coordinating causes have an infinite number of meanings. Briefly, they may be explained under two categories, namely, the specific and the general coordinating causes. As far as the specific coordinating causes, a person, from the time when he first aspires to seek enlightenment until he becomes an enlightened one, sees or meditates on the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas as they manifest themselves to him. Sometimes they appear as his family members, parents, or relatives, sometimes as servants, sometimes as close friends, or sometimes as enemies. Through all kinds of deeds and incalculable performances, such as the practice of the 4 acts of loving kindness, etc., they exercise the force of permeation created by their great compassion, and are thus able to cause sentient beings to strengthen their capacity for goodness, and are able to benefit them as they see or hear about their needs. This specific coordinating cause is of 2 kinds. One is immediate and enables a person to obtain deliverance quickly, and the other is remote and enables a person to obtain deliverance after a long time. The immediate and remote causes are again of 2 kinds. The causes which strengthen a person in his practices of expedient means to help others, and those which enable him to obtain enlightenment. The translators note that Mahayanists interpret Sakyamuni Buddha as a temporal incarnation in history of the eternal Buddha, the Dharmakaya, who appeared in order to help save the world. This theory made it possible to postulate any number of temporal but unhistorical manifestations of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas as the popularization of Mahayana Buddhism progressed. In order to become a popular religion, mythologization was inevitable. Perhaps the best example of this trend can be found in a section of the Lotus Sutra, or the Saddharma Pundarika Sutra, in which the Bodhisattva of Avalokiteshvara appears in all forms of being in order to protect believers in all conceivable situations, in the end leading them to enlightenment.